Hi everyone, it's Meenal from The Miniature Life and welcome back to the channel. Today's recipe is a really exciting one. I think this has to be my very best cookie recipe and I'm really excited to share it with you all. I think you guys are going to love it. Today we are making decadent Toblerone cookies. For me, Toblerone reminds me of all the things I loved about travel growing up. In particular, it reminds me of greeting my dad at the airport where he would come back with a large block of this delicious honey and nougat-ty chocolate. Preheat the oven to roughly 180 degrees Celsius and line 2 baking trays with baking paper and set aside. For this recipe, you are going to need 225 grams of softened butter. This has to be at room temperature. 3/4 cup of tightly packed brown sugar, 1/2 cup of granulated white sugar, 312 grams of plain flour, 1 egg at room temperature, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and another 1/2 teaspoon of flaky sea salt to top off the cookies. This wouldn't be a Toblerone cookie without some Toblerone. We're going to need 2 cups of chopped up Toblerone. When chopping up the Toblerone, be sure to chop the pieces into relatively small chunks. They shouldn't be larger than 1 centimeter. To get started, in a mixing bowl, mix together the dry ingredients, the salt, baking soda, and flour. Use a whisk to loosen up any lumps in this mixture. Now get your stand mixer ready and beat the softened butter until smooth. Then add both sugars and beat until you get a light, fluffy mixture. This should take about 2 minutes. Scrape down the sides of the bowl periodically to ensure everything is mixed together really well. Now add the egg and vanilla extract. Beat this for another minute. Now we add the dry mixture. I add a couple of tablespoons of the flour mixture at a time to ensure a really smooth batter. You want to beat this until the entire mixture is just combined. It's time to add the chopped up Toblerone. Add this into the bowl and use a spatula to mix this through. It might be a little bit tough because it is quite a large quantity of the chocolate, but trust me, it's all going to turn out delicious. Now use an ice cream scoop or just your hands to roll the mixture into little balls and set them on the baking tray. Depending on the size of your tray, you should be able to fit about 6 cookie balls on the tray. Now these do spread quite a lot, so be careful not to overfill your baking tray. Top each cookie ball with additional chopped up Toblerone and the flaky sea salt. Place the baking tray in the oven for roughly 9 to 12 minutes. The timing is really going to depend on the size of your oven and how crowded your baking tray is. Just keep an eye on them. You want to bake them until they turn golden brown and really spread in the tray. I made my cookies quite large, so they took the full 12 minutes. I made sure I rotated the baking tray at the 6-minute mark as well. Once they're ready, remove them from the oven and set aside to cool. After about 5 minutes, I use a spatula to pick up individual cookies and set them onto a cooling rack. This will ensure that the base crisps up a little. And there you have it. These are my absolutely decadent, delicious Toblerone cookies. It's a really simple recipe that you will never forget. Trust me when I say people are going to ask you time and time again to bake these for them. They're so easy, so delicious. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It's definitely been one of my favorites to shoot, and I'm so glad you guys requested cookie recipes because I absolutely love baking them. As always, please like and subscribe, and happy baking!